Start the recording.
Great, awesome. We will let a few people trickle in then, which is great. And we will get started in just 1 second. For everyone that is here, we're going to have a nice little interactive LinkedIn workshop today. So I'll have you guys feel free to unmute at times. We'll be a little bit interactive. I'll go over a few things, and then at the end, we will be free to ask any questions you have, or we can workshop your individual like profiles or your LinkedIns if you would like. That's totally fine. So as we're still waiting, you can get LinkedIn pulled up in the background if you're on a computer, and think of any questions that you have. And again, we'll answer the majority of them at the end. All right. So I will go ahead and slowly get started here again, just waiting for a few to trickle in. My name is Hannah Leitner. I'm a marketing consultant. I've been consulting on my own independently for the past 3 years now, although I've been in marketing a lot longer than that. Let me go ahead and here we go. So as a marketing consultant, there's lots of different areas that you can focus on. I like to pride myself on focusing on 3 main areas of strategic or technical marketing, I call it. So I usually focus on custom CRM integrations, marketing automation, and then also writing like white papers and case studies and technical documents like that. So agenda today, I have 4 kind of main areas that we will take a look at. So we'll do personal branding, content, networking, and then the job searching, which is usually most people's favorite part, although it can be stressful. So we're going to make it as the least stressful as possible for everyone. And have some learning outcomes. I'm not going to go over these, but I would really appreciate if you have a phone or something handy. I have a Mentee. It's like a 3-question survey. You can use this QR code, and there's a code here if needed. I am going to actually exit real quick, and I will throw one link in the chat if you don't have a phone handy. There's a link in the chat. Again, really appreciate it's a 3-question, just giving me a better idea of people's familiarity with LinkedIn. So I'm not going over unnecessary details if people are already familiar. We don't need that. So take just 1 second for me. And I will get it pulled up in the background just to take a look before we move on. Awesome. I'll go back into my slideshow then. Great. So again, appreciate that. Let's dive in now. So creating a personal brand, the first thing you really want to be able to showcase yourself and even your offerings if you have any sort of an offering. So your branding is all about building the foundation, right? So what is personal branding? Well, personal branding is really how you present yourself. It's how you speak. It's what you put out on the internet. It also is your unique value proposition. That's a bit of a marketing term there, but that is relating to what you can offer people. So if you're a student or you're still in school, you might not have a value prop of years of experience in the field. And that's okay. You have something else that you can offer. Maybe you have skills and you're looking for a job. You want to be able to put those skills out on LinkedIn somehow. Or maybe you are looking to hire an assistant for something. You still want to showcase why someone should choose you, why someone would want to be hired by you, something of that nature. And then the other thing with branding is aligning your presence with your career goals. So if you are looking to go into, say, a more corporate career, you probably want to present yourself more professionally than someone who's maybe going into a trade and is just having a trade type of profile on LinkedIn. Don't get me wrong, you need to be professional in both instances, but there are some small differences there. Headshots, for example, you might want to be more professional with a full suit for a headshot opposed to just a clean looking presence. So optimizing your profile. There's a few key areas for your profile, and I'm going to go over some examples in just 1 second. So get prepared to come off mute if you can. So for your profile, the first thing again is your photo that I've mentioned. You want a professional photo. It needs to be clear. You should be looking straight on at the camera. If you have glasses, you might consider taking them off so there's not a glare. That one's kind of a preference thing, but no hats, no things of that nature. You have a headline section and your about section. Those are what really are going to set you apart. That's what recruiters see. That's what connections see as well. If you're trying to connect with someone, that's like a friend request in a sense. This is where you can put keywords in your profile or hashtags as well. Hashtags on LinkedIn are not quite dead like they are on some other platforms. So it can give people an idea of what you're interested in. For myself, since I'm in marketing and consulting and freelance, I might use some of those as my keywords or in my bio. I might put, strategic marketing consultant. And I can highlight some of my strengths in there as well. And then your experience and education. So if you are, 3 or 4 years past high school, you don't need any high school experience on there. It's totally okay to keep that off. Same thing with some volunteer experience. If your, volunteer experience is more than 4 or 5 years old, rule of thumb, you can probably keep it off. It's okay. Unless there's a reason for keeping it on. So if it's directly related to the job or the field that you're going into, that industry, then it might be worth keeping on. Another thing that I usually suggest for your education section is you don't need to put your GPA on there. You also don't need to put your graduation year. There's a debate on if people have some hiring bias for when you put your graduation year. I don't know if it's true or not, but it could be. So that's one argument for keeping that year off, as well as GPA. Someone's going to ask you about that in an interview process, possibly. And if not, doesn't matter. But also one thing to keep in mind for this experience section is to be detailed but concise. That's basically the key with LinkedIn, is always putting down enough information that someone can grasp easily what you did, and fully understand your job or your experience in maybe 3 or 4 bullet points. So that's where the conciseness comes in. Skills and endorsements. I'll show this profile section later as well, but you can ask people on LinkedIn for an endorsement if you know someone. This is also why you should connect with people when possible on LinkedIn to get those endorsements. Or skills. So if you don't have a volunteer section, you could add skills on LinkedIn. It's just a way for recruiters to help search for you and redefine their filter criteria, but it's not necessary. It's just helpful. And then the URL and contact information. There's a section where you can put your resume and host your resume on LinkedIn. Keep your contact information on your resume, such as an email and a phone number. Don't put your address. No one needs that on your resume, especially if it's public, but an email address especially is useful. And I have some profile examples. We have 2 slides of these. So if people are comfortable coming off mute, let's take a look at these 2 profile screenshots and let me know what seems good about these or what seems like we could improve on these. So if anyone has thoughts, or drop something in the chat. Let me go back, I apologize. So on the left, we have our J person here. We can see their kind of headline up here. We don't quite see their about section, but we see some of these hashtags. Something that I like about this profile, we can easily kind of see who this person is in one snapshot. So looking at this, I see this quick little about. I can see marketing and customer experience expert. They're an author. I see what they talk about now. Here's some hashtags. They have a lot of followers and connections, which is awesome. And I can also see their most recent experience. So when you have an experience section filled out, your most recent will always show right here in kind of this top right on LinkedIn. And then your education will show here. So I like that I can see all of that and I know who I'm connecting with or who might be messaging me on LinkedIn. Do we have any thoughts about the experience section on the right-hand side? I see in the chat, we could use bullet points on this experience. Totally agree. We could use bullet points to help kind of highlight, it helps people skim. Bullet points are just great for skimming, which recruiters unfortunately always skim. So it can help them. One thing that I like, I'll mention here, I see they've listed some very specific things that they are familiar with. So we can see some platforms here. They're familiar with Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, and then some skills as well. This sales prospecting, cadence development, content syndication. These are all great keywords. These could also be in bullet points. It would let me see, oh, Facebook, awesome. I'll connect with this person. I'm going to move on to two other examples here, slightly different looking. If anyone has some thoughts on these compared to what we just saw.
I would say it's kind of vague.
Yeah, what's vague about it?
Her profile picture and her about me. I feel like it wasn't appropriate for this type of page.
Yeah, that about especially is like kind of Tumblr, Twitter kind of feeling there. Um, and yeah, her profile picture, it's a little mysterious for some reason. I don't know why, but kind of is. She's not looking directly at the camera by any means. Any other thoughts about these two profile examples?
I can't see her profile picture clearly. She's not facing the camera, and her about me is pretty lengthy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Um, the one caveat here is this one does look like she's maybe in a boardroom or in a meeting. So it's kind of like an action shot of her working. So it might be okay, but this shot might be a lot better used in the background here. So you have a background image that you can upload or a background banner. And you notice both of these profiles have empty banners here. So it looks a little bit undone, right? There's still areas that you can that they could improve here. Awesome. I'm going to move on to some content creation here. Keep us moving along. So yes, I also like the comment in the chat there about the font colors. Font colors are very, very important, making sure things are legible and there's enough contrast. So a standard white background for your resume and dark black text is easiest to read, looks professional. Same thing with font. You usually want a Times New Roman or an Arial, something that you would submit like a college paper in font wise is going to be appropriate for a resume. And if it's not appropriate for a professor, probably it's not appropriate for a hiring manager either. With the banners are not. So I would say that they are important, but they're not required in a sense. So I think that they're important in that they make it seem like you have put in that extra effort. So it makes it look like you really do care about your profile and your presence. And that's important on LinkedIn because it's a professional networking platform. It's not like Facebook where if you don't have enough pictures on Facebook, like no one cares about that. It's social versus a professional world there. So there are lots of banners that you can upload. Um, you can upload like an interest of yours. Maybe it is college related, like a college kind of academic club. Maybe it is a volunteering network or organization that you've worked with in the past. You could put some sort of a banner like that in your background. There's lots of things that you can do besides just a photo of like yourself in the banner. So if there's more questions about that towards the end, remind me and we can look at some other examples of banners for sure. Okay, moving on again to content creation. There's a few different types of content that you might see on LinkedIn. Um, Content is very, very important. I would say that content that you are putting out there or reposting is probably more important than banners. So we don't need to get held up on that. But types of content, this is how someone might screen you out. So again, a recruiter or a connection, if you are reposting controversial things or maybe borderline inappropriate, um, that's what your professional network is going to see, and that's going to determine more than likely if they want to interact with you or not. So just know that it's very important here. And in regards to types of content, there are text posts that you'll see. So a lot of times these are long, they kind of look poetic. People will post like a few words in one line and then they'll space and a few words. And very, very long posts right now are trending on there. But these posts usually have like insights or lessons. You'll maybe see a picture on them. These posts are great. These are things that you can do on your own. You don't have to have some sentimental story or um, some crazy like lesson that you learned from, going outside, taking your dog on a walk. You can just post little things. It's okay. Or if posting is a little bit like scary to think about, then you can also repost other people's. So use other people's words that are already there. Find someone that you like. Maybe it is someone from Google, maybe it's someone from Microsoft or a professor. Start looking towards some big names and you can repost their content. And then you can start to curate your network a little bit more. But don't be scared of reposting people's. For articles, articles are another type of content. Articles and newsletters I would group here. So these are usually kind of like more long form content that people have written out. They are called newsletters, and you can search for newsletters. This is probably a bit more than anyone needs to be doing. I would avoid trying to create your own newsletter or article on LinkedIn, but you could repost someone else's or comment on someone else's. If you ever had to like respond to a reading for an assignment, it's kind of like what an article is. You can find something that interests you, do some sort of a quick comment on there, and then people can still see that you have commented and interacted with an article. Images and videos, always great. Polls and questions are another type of content, but I would avoid, honestly. They, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I would just avoid them. There's no real reason to use them. But sharing and commenting. Again, if you are not comfortable writing your own text posts that are original, start with sharing and commenting on other people's things. So again, look towards those industry leaders, look towards those big names that you know, just write a little comment. And then so that way, it'll also help your profile look a little bit more complete. That way you can see, or someone else can see, sorry, your activity on LinkedIn. They can see who you're interacting with, making sure it's appropriate. Or someone might want to connect with you more because they see that you are active and they might think that you are maybe have more experience and you really do. It's okay if that happens. That's why we should be, doing this type of content on LinkedIn. And best practices. So if you are thinking about being active on LinkedIn and writing some content, be consistent. That's the best way to have your profile be found quicker by anyone on the network is just be consistent. If that's once a week, great, stick with that. If it's twice a week, amazing. Any more than that, it's going to be hard to stick with your schedule. So consistency is key over quantity. Storytelling, you always want to connect with your audience. So even if you only have maybe 2 connections or 5 connections on LinkedIn, it's okay. You just always want to be authentic. If you've seen the trend where you have influencers like crying as they're, talking in a video, like that's very inauthentic. Don't push for content like that. If you don't have anything to say, it's okay. You don't have to. Don't force your content. Um, Hashtags we mentioned, you can use hashtags in your profile, which are great. You can also use hashtags in posts on LinkedIn. They're not going to boost your content that much, but they will help filter for some of that content in the search bar. So, you could leverage them. Again, engaging with comments and messages, dropping your own comment, or there's a reply feature, so you can like reply to a thread of comments. You can do that too. That's great. You can echo someone else's comment in your own words. And repurposing content. So if anyone maybe has like a business side hustle, if they have some sort of other like business profile, you can repurpose your content. It's totally okay. If you have a Facebook or an Instagram, we're active on it for something, repurpose the same type of content on LinkedIn and be consistent with it. That's going to always grow your following, make it look more professional. That's all I have for content here. So I'm going to move on to the networking side, which is very important here. And I have lots of examples to show here. So curating your network, building your network is going to be the key to growing. You obviously want to make those connections. You want to make authentic, genuine connections though. So some places you can start is classmates. If you know of them, search them in the search bar on LinkedIn, send them a connection request. Same thing with professors. Will probably accept your connection. And then you can also branch out as well to people that you might not know, which might be those recruiters and hiring managers that are associated with a job posting or just professionals, and send them personalized connection requests. So I'm going to skip a little bit to show the examples here. And to engage with your network, once you've built this network, again, you want to comment on those posts when you can. You want your network to see that you're active. You want to give your network something that they can also comment on and interact with you. Send meaningful DMs to people without being spammy is a thing. I'm going to show examples of this because this is where a lot of spam happens, or it's very inauthentic, and it feels weird. It feels forced when you get those types of DMs. There are also LinkedIn groups and events. So again, I know I'm skipping through this quick because I want to show these. So these are some DMs that I get on LinkedIn, for example. I get a lot of these daily and I don't respond to them. So one person, for example, I'm going to play this video, just a little grainy, I apologize. If we look at this, January 20th, they messaged me. The 24th, they messaged me. The 30th, they messaged me. And the 10th, February 10th, I have another message here. And if you notice, I haven't responded to any of these messages. I'm just getting them every, 4 days, 7 days here. And he didn't even try to connect with me, right? This is very, it's not genuine here. So he said, thanks for connecting. And then immediately started talking about himself. Sorry. He's talking about himself, his experience, what he does, and his services. There's no connection here to me. So this is spamming me with the 20th, the 24th. These are horrible messages. This does not make me want to reach out to someone. Don't do this. This is a very bad example. I would say that this one here, I wanted to highlight. This one is a good message to me, and I'll explain why this one is. He addressed me, connected with me. He said we have mutual connections in the marketing space. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But he wanted to connect. And here is what got me. He said, not selling anything. I promise, no pitch slap. This is a very niche reference to some of the things that I have talked about on LinkedIn and some podcast things that I've done. So this to me tells me that he actually has looked at my profile or read and engaged with some of my content that I have out there. So this right here makes me want to connect, reach out, maybe follow him a little bit closer than I would. This is a great message, and only I understand that this has a personal touch to it, which I appreciate. Same thing with this one. So this I responded on LinkedIn events that I was going to an event. So that's public. It's a good way. This person saw that I was going to attend that event since it's public. He said, "Hey, I see you're part of this meetup. Are you attending? Would love to meet up." This to me, though, it says that they have an agenda. They want to talk about something specific, maybe want to sell me something, maybe just want to connect. I don't know. There's an agenda here, but it still has this genuine meetup intention since we both responded to this. So these are two examples of good messages, I would say. For DMs, let me pause this video. And curating your network. I have a quick video here as well, a screen grab. This is just mine. You're going to see some of my feed stuff here. So when you're curating your network, you can go through, and I'm going to search marketing because this is what I do. Marketing communications here. I'm going to pause. So this is in my regular search bar. And now I get all kinds of marketing communication types of things because it includes all of these. So I can search through jobs that are going to contain this keyword. Posts would be people's posts. People would be people who talk about that or have that maybe marketing communication hashtag in their bio, which is why those keywords are so important. LinkedIn has some courses, some are free, some are paid. The paid ones are not worth it. The free ones are sometimes. But anyway, you search your keyword that you want, and then we can figure out who comes up from those keywords. If I'm looking at my network, I would want to go over to people. And now I can see all these people who are related to marketing communications for some reason. And I can play with my additional filters. So I want to connect with people in Texas in general. See it narrowed down to 163,000 people now. I can click on someone's profile and follow them. Now I can take a look at this person. They have a great about me. They have some featured posts. They have some good activity, which is why your activity is important. This shows your posts versus comments that you're putting on other people's. See, she has a very full experience section as well. No bullet points here, but we can see what she's done. We can see her history. So if I was curating my network, I look at this. I love this profile. I like who she presents herself as. I'm going to look at her activity just to kind of make sure nothing is weird. She has genuine posts here. Some are original here. Some are just reposts. These are great. This is a wonderful profile. This is someone I would want to have in my network. This is not a bot. So I would connect with this person. When you connect, I'm going to pause here. You can either send without a note or send with a note. With the free version of LinkedIn, you can only send so many personalized notes a month. I believe it's 5 per month. I would definitely use these though, because when you add a note, you have like 200 characters or something that you can use. This is where you would want to connect with someone personally and reach out, say something like, "Hi, Sarah. I am also in the Marcom space in Texas. Would love to connect." You say something, you find something about their profile that you can connect with them over, and you can add it to your note quickly there and send it. So you have about 5 for the month, I believe. So very, very important. connecting with people in your network, curate it, follow people wisely. I'm going to keep moving on here to events. I had mentioned finding events. You can go through the same process essentially. Type in a keyword into your search field. See what comes up here. Events. On this page, events popped up first. Wonderful. I'm going to keep going. And now I have 600 some events that have popped up. I'm free to take a look at any of these. So these are going to be a mix of virtual and physical events. I'll find one that I like here. That one seems good. Now I can take a look at this event here. I have the details, I have a link. Some might say that they're virtual and link out and actually be a paid event. So just be wary of that. Not all, but some. So you can look at any of these events, and one cool thing, after you click attend, you can share it on your profile, or as soon as you click attend, it will let others know in your network that you are attending that event. So that gives other people visibility of you being active and interested in things. And then the other feature of events is this networking portion. So you can also see all these other people under the networking tab. This means that they have also clicked I'm attending. So if I like this event, I want to connect with people who are also attending. This is good. You can go through these people, click on these people's profiles, maybe find more people to add to your network or to message. This is a wonderful strategy that I use. A lot of people use this. Awesome. Okay. We'll keep moving on so we have time at the end. Last little section here is our job searching. So to use the job searching, there are a few things to know. One, I'm just going to put out there is that there are a lot of fake jobs that are on LinkedIn anymore. So always, always, please be wary of jobs that you're looking at or posts. If someone says, hashtag hiring, something, something, just be wary. Or if people message you, get details when you can, don't send personal information, things of that nature. But with the job searching feature, there's lots of filters that we can use. We can set up job alerts. That way we can, be alerted to things that we're interested in, jobs that we want. We're going to look at researching the companies and reaching out to people. So I'm skipping over this because we want to get to the good part of how to do this. So for job alerts, you'll notice I am on my LinkedIn page. And I'm just clicking first on this job icon. Everyone's LinkedIn should look the same, should be up in the top for everyone. This is the job board, how it will kind of look. In your search bar, you can search for, again, some sort of a job that you want, or just a keyword, marketing, for example. I still have it filtered by jobs. All the jobs are going to start showing up the left-hand side. And you'll see I have over 80,000 results right here. That's great, but there's a lot through here. These are going to be promoted or paid jobs that are here. So it's like an advertisement along with non-promoted content. So best practices would be to filter out your job alerts within the past week. You want to be one of the first people to apply to jobs if possible. It's going to give you a better chance usually. And then some other filters that I recommend if you are looking for a remote, definitely use that remote filter for sure. And then the easy apply. Easy apply means that it has a LinkedIn application actually within LinkedIn. You don't have to go out to another job board. You don't have to submit a bunch of extra stuff. The easy apply is usually 2 or 3 button clicks, and it's going to be based off of your profile. Essentially, you're submitting your LinkedIn profile for someone to review, which is why your profile is so, so important and your presence is so important if you are searching for jobs through LinkedIn. I'll keep playing this. We can also search through experience level. Just again, trying to narrow down these searches. So I'm down to about 280 searches. And then I like what I have here. I just turn this alert on for myself now. So I will get an alert anytime marketing types of jobs come up that match those criteria. And I have job alerts right now set up. I'm just going into that marketing alert that I just set, and I'm going to edit it. So now I can look at my alert frequency. If I want daily or weekly notifications, do I want email, or notification will be like in app or in browser notifications as well for you. So this is a great way to search and filter through those criteria. And let me go back to this. The other thing, if you click on all filters, I didn't go through this, but there are a lot more filters that you can choose from. You can narrow by like past companies people have worked at, time in the job or something. There's lots of other things. It's usually a bit overkill unless you're looking for something extremely specific. So that's why, again, I would just kind of recommend searching through this experience level and the time when that job was posted. Definitely the past week or 24 hours is what I would kind of stick with to search and find just the most relevant jobs for you. And messaging recruiters. So say we find a job that we like. We want to reach out to the recruiter or the hiring manager who's associated with the job. So when we find a job, we look through this. If you notice here, we don't have anyone listed up top here. So this one does not have a public profile on it. So I'm going to find a different job. This one here that I clicked into, boom, we see someone, meet the hiring team. This means that this person is the recruiter or the hiring manager who posted this job. So if I like this job, I now see this person. I can click on their profile, follow their profile, and see that they work for People Logic. People Logic is a recruiting agency. But if this is the hiring manager, I'm interested in this job, I applied for this job. Now might be a good time to send a quick message to the recruiter or hiring manager. Send that connection request, add your note, be very nice and polite. But you could say something like, hi, I just applied for X job. Would love to speak with you further if possible. You know, just something. That way they know you went above and beyond. You are interested in the job. Sometimes this helps you stand out. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's worth a shot if you have a second to do so. Again, you do have those invites for the month though, so just be wary of that. You can also message some people. Usually you need that paid version of LinkedIn to actually message them, which is why the connection add note is usually a good workaround for that. And some of the strategies, definitely tailor your profile for your job application. So just like you would want to tailor a resume for a specific industry that you're applying for, it doesn't have to be tailored for every job, but industry specific, definitely. Tailor your profile. So for me, if I'm staying in marketing, my entire profile should speak to marketing, technical marketing, things of that nature. Also optimizing my profile, remember to use those keywords when you can. If you don't know what keywords to use, that's totally okay. Look at some jobs that you're interested in or the job that you really want to have. Look at the keywords on those job postings, see what skills, see what requirements are on there. And if you have them, don't lie on your LinkedIn profile. You'll get caught very quick. But take a look at the job postings and use those words in your profile if possible. That will help you. As well as having a certification area. You can add licenses and certifications on LinkedIn. So utilize that. Sometimes those LinkedIn learning courses that you can take will give you like a LinkedIn badge. Add it to your profile. It looks good on your profile. It's okay. You don't need to have like a safe food handling certification on there. You don't have to have like a CPR certification. Those are going to be irrelevant, but some sort of a work certification would be great. And you can also ask for recommendations from anyone in your network, um, which are great. They'll show up on your profile. You don't need them. It's a mixed bag of if people really utilize them or not. I think I have maybe one on mine, for example, but all right. Those are the 4 areas that I've had. I would love to open up for a few minutes. Again, we can workshop someone's profile. We can answer any specific questions that people have. I know we went over a lot.
Feel free to unmute to ask your questions.
We'll wait a few seconds for any questions again, or drop something in the chat. I think I tried to answer all the chat questions that I saw come through. If I didn't, rebump your question if you have something. It's okay.
I will also be posting this on our Student Life YouTube page. So if you're wanting to rewatch it, I'm putting the link in the chat.
All right,
Are there any questions for anybody?
This is everyone's time. I'm here to help you out. Take advantage of my time being here.
Does anybody want her to look at their LinkedIn page? Because I have a lot of work to do on mine now that I've seen this. So this is very helpful.
Yeah. That's a good question. If you have a certification that's recently expired, but it's relevant to your industry and the jobs that you're applying for, I would probably keep it on there. It shows that you've put in the effort learning that, or you have that experience, even if it's expired. It shows that you have that effort. It shows employers that maybe an employer would repay for that certification if it's something that they would offer. I think it's good to have if it's industry specific. Again, if it's just kind of a general CPR that I took 5 years ago to babysit, take that off. But yeah, recently expired. It's okay. I'd probably keep it on your profile.
Think if you're in the health science business and you have those certifications that you have to be in those positions, because CPR is like one of them, you'll definitely want to keep those on there.
Yeah. 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 Let's see. Actually, Angel, are you comfortable sharing and going off mute? Otherwise, I can look you up.
Yes, I'm comfortable.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and stop. I'll let you share if that's okay, and we can take a look. Are you able to? You are. I see. Sorry. Okay. Do you have specific questions about your profile, or would you like to just look at it together? Okay. So with this, I see a good picture. If you could have just a little bit more centered of a picture, it'd be great. We have a really great picture right now. I see you have a good little about section up top. I see that you're a student. I see some scholar. I like this. There is room to add a banner up there. That'd be great. And we could add some sections. So for example, if you really are looking for jobs, you could click that add section button and you could add your resume, for example, or you can add like a featured section for featured posts. If you don't have featured posts on LinkedIn, maybe you have like published works or projects or something through NSCS, you could feature that on your profile. Those are all things to consider. And if you can scroll down, we can take a look more. Yeah. You can see some activity. You can see your own impressions, which is great. But let's look at experience. So I see some bullets here. Bullets are great. Yeah, I like these experience sections. One tiny thing to strengthen your experience, for example, is if you can quantify or if you can give numbers, that's always going to enhance your section. So, as that sales rep, if you know roughly how many, meetings you booked a month or how many phone calls you were taking per month, if you know how many of those converted or where you're like closed ops, if you can put any numbers anywhere, that would make you that much better, even though this is already good. It would just send you over a touch. But I like this. I like your skills too. One thing that I'll highlight is this is what it looks like for people when you have skills associated with a job. You can see like sales, strategic negotiations, you see that physical stamina, I assume. Those are great. Those are just keywords that recruiters can use. So this is wonderful. Do you want to keep going down if there's any more education or something? Okay, education is great. I might consider taking your high school off just because you're out of high school long enough now. It's not usually necessary. Do you have more on your HCC education? Is there more written? Okay, these are good. So you have some activities that you are in and roles. These are good. Same thing with your licenses down here, I would say. These are yeah. These all look good to me as well. These are a little bit mixed. It shows that you have some like variety, like different licenses, different jobs that you've had in the past. If you are really, really interested in going into just one specific field, maybe consider getting rid of a few of those and only highlighting the most important certs that you have there. But these are pretty good, honestly. Yeah, these are awesome. Your profile is very complete. I will say that. You have almost all of these sections like on here and there's something in them. These are great. Oh, Dean's List. That's also a really good call out. It's great to have that on here. I love seeing that, especially if you don't have work experience. This is good for anyone. If you don't have a lot of work experience, if you can highlight some of those more collegiate like honors or awards that you've had, highlight those, lean in on those heavy, like those dean's list or an honor roll type of thing, any honor societies. Lean in on those experiences, especially if you do not have work experience. Yeah, I love your profile overall for the most part. This is great. I would focus on connecting with some people. I see you have 18 connections. I would try and curate your network. Try and do that. Add some numbers if you can, like we'd mentioned, some data or some hard numbers. And then maybe a background image. A background image might be like that walk of life or the Susan G. Komen that you did, the the president thing that you have, or like a dean's list. If you have something you can highlight, something like that would be a great banner image if you're interested in adding one. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that and going through that.
Thank you. I don't know if you were able to hear me while you were going through it or not.
No.
Okay, so y'all was talking, but I thought you could hear me.
No, so sorry. That's why I was
I
talking.
was talking the whole time.
Oh, no. No. Do you have any, I can hear you now. Do you have any questions or comments since we couldn't hear you? Sorry.
So how can because I really only have experience, like mostly experience, kind of like security, as you can tell, and working with children. So how can I amplify that and like making, what was it that you said? Like making, what is it called? Not a bio, but whatever you call it on LinkedIn to, kind of like how you said to click, like kind of to enhance my profile, kind of like and about me, kind of sort of.
Oh, what industry are you trying to go into, or what job do you want?
My after leaving HCC, want to go to university. I want to be juvenile, working with juvenile, so juvenile probation in that field.
Okay. So I would highlight some of your experience with youth and children then. Um, Highlight that experience, use some of those keywords for sure. But then the people that you're connecting with and the types of content that you're interacting with, start looking for that job specific kind of content. So find people who are doing your job already, amplify their posts to get you started. But I would highlight your children and youth experience that you have.
Okay, and I know you mentioned about I can also maybe add my professors as well, especially my criminal justice professors if they have a LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. Yeah, totally do that. Coursework, I didn't mention, but that's also a good thing. So since you kind of have like a few types of jobs that you've had, but you want to focus in on just one path, under your education section where you listed like HCC, list some of your relevant coursework right now. That's totally okay. I would say that would help with some of those keywords. Don't describe the course or describe, what you're learning. Like we don't need that detail, but you can mention like criminal justice or any other types of law or those types of courses. Highlight those under HCC. That's another good move.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, that was an awesome profile. My profile was never, ever that close to um, being finished like that until a few years ago, I would say. So you have a really good start already. I think we have maybe just a few minutes left if anyone else has some lingering questions or another profile we could look at really quick. All right. If there aren't questions, I think we're good to wrap up. I will definitely give my presentation slides that I have over. So if there's a place to maybe have them, a repository or something, I'll make my slides available if anyone wants them.
Wonderful. Just reach out to me. I'm going to put my email in the chats if you would like me to send the slides to you. And we will also be posting this on our YouTube page, which I posted the link in the chat also. Just give us a couple days to get it up. Thank you, Hannah, so much for coming in and doing this. This was such wonderful information and so useful. I can't wait to put it to use myself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys, everyone, for coming and listening for an hour. I hope it was useful for everyone else as well.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at our next event. Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, my name is Lloyd. Yeah. Hey, Jennifer, can I see my screen?
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, hey, my name is Lloyd. Hey, Jennifer. Yeah,
Yes.
my email for you that I sent you, right?
Yes, I did get it and I replied back.
Yeah, cause I didn't need help with something about the AC Honor Society.